it says a lot about the American public. Have they forgiven? Probably not. Have they moved on? More likely, yes.
Now, I don't know what I was going to say next.
Okay.
Hello, I am Josh Woods and I'm with Andreas Giorgio and we're here on How to Destroy Your Brand. The third episode, the third documentary. How good are we doing?
Well, we've got 2 other episodes, so we've done well enough. we've done perfectly okay not to get cancelled.
Exactly,
so far.
Yeah. There has been some comments on the Facebook on the last documentary which I had to fight off. I believe that was the best method. Someone, I don't want to say what they were saying, but it wasn't very polite.
Polite is probably the wrong way to explain anything really that happened on that Facebook thread.
But the funny thing that happened is that, because... Go on, I'll tell you what actually happened.
Go on then.
Yeah. So basically the thumbnail for it was Rolf Harris, and as we were promoting it, the thumbnail is Rolf Harris taking a selfie.
Because it's obviously Walker's Wave was episode 2.
Yes.
So we were talking about, as you heard on the last podcast and the last documentary, people using paedophiles or predators to hijack the Walker's Wave campaign.
Yeah. And so the idea was, we'll just do a funny thing. I put Rolf Harris's face onto someone else taking his own selfie. It's obviously not real. And someone accused me of glorifying paedophilia. And I was like, that's not true, is it?
It's a bit of a stretch.
Yeah.
Especially when the documentary is literally talking about, and the podcast as well, I think we did a really good job, just talking about how awful the whole series of events was, and obviously to the point that Walker's had to cancel it prematurely because it was hijacked with the faces of Rolf Harris and Jimmy Savile, etc., etc. So yeah, glorifying paedophilia, you had to fight off a few comments about that.
Well, just one guy.
It was just one guy, but there was about 20 comments.
Yeah.
He wasn't letting up, was he?
He wasn't, no. But the funny thing is that then after that, some of the people do think you are overreacting, mate, to the other guy. So
there's good gratification in
yeah,
that
I was
regard.
like, see, I knew I wasn't wrong. I knew I'd done the right thing. So,
and it's a YouTube thumbnail. Get over it.
Exactly. So this week we are talking about a company called Miracle Mattress. Now, these are a mattress company based in Texas. They have 2 stores, one owned by a man called Mike Bonnano, and the other by his daughter, Cherise Bonnano. So maybe a tiny bit of nepotism going on here. But basically the story behind this is that they created an advert, a kind of DIY advert filmed on the phone, released it on the social media. It was a Twin Towers sale. Now, I don't know if you know about the Twin Towers, don't you? I
do know about the Twin... I think everybody knows about the Twin Towers. Obviously, the 9/11 terrorist attacks.
Yes.
And definitely something that there's a very thin line in terms of using that to either promote a product or promote a message. You know, with one of the biggest tragedies, not just in American history, but globally to ever happen. And it's definitely one of those things I would put on a list of to try and avoid, or to at least be totally respectful of, if ever using 9/11 messaging or respectful posts about that, like to use it as somewhat of a throwaway, like we will go into with Miracle Mattress. There should have been some alarm bells, right, Josh?
Yeah, but I think again this is a case of there's no approval process. So Cherise Bonnano, the daughter, I believe wanted to be the face of Miracle Mattress, and I imagine
because obviously being the face of a mattress company is really. That's how to leverage your career, right? That's a dream growing up.
But I think what it is she wanted to do was really just gain some kind of popularity. Maybe I'm speculating a tiny bit there. But they didn't handle this sensitively at all. And what I think is really strange about it, they have had some commercials, where it seems, maybe they invested a bit of money into it. But the majority of what they actually do is phone style videos, and that's how they kind of promote their company, and that's what this was. But it reached such a level of insensitivity that this little mattress company from Texas basically exploded all over the news. But before we get to actually what happened, what are some examples of DIY marketing? So, i.e. marketing that has no budget.
Yeah. So I won't give you an actual real example, but I'll give you a conceptual example of what DIY marketing is. Any company or brand that want to promote their product or services, but they can't either afford or they don't want to pay for a professional company to run a campaign, to shoot a promotional video, they can just film something on their phone. It's called user-generated content, of either them promoting the product or showcasing the product. So this is what we've seen with the popularity of smartphones. We've seen an increase in this kind of DIY marketing, user-generated content, where, let's give the example of a mattress company. You can just walk around the store, take videos of the mattresses, and then you can post that online and use it as a marketing video to say, come and buy these amazing mattresses. Now, obviously, very cheap, very cost effective, but equally, if not done correctly, can lead to catastrophe. As we will get onto, but equally can also lead to further issues, because generally with a DIY marketing process, there isn't really any approval. You're not going to the CEO of the company and saying, hey, can I post this? Is this okay? Is this on brand for us? It's usually whoever the head of the company is. It's generally small businesses. They go, hey, you, employee 1236, here's a social media login, and just go post some stuff online. And that can lead to some issues.
Yes, definitely. So before they decided to do all this filming on the mobile phones and stuff, they were very much in the sector of charity work. It seems to, from my research of Cherise Bonnano, that obviously she wanted the company to do well, but I think she kind of relished in the TV appearances and stuff like that. So they had a lot of these sales that were actually really innovative. And the first sale that they did previous to this was basically giving, if you came into the store, bought a mattress, they would donate a mattress to children that were, or basically, poor families where the children had to sleep on the floor, etc. And that was a really innovative campaign. Like the police in the local area were like, they've actually done a really good thing here. Hundreds of kids had beds to sleep in.
Yeah, it's very thoughtful, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think from that thing they were like, okay, so we managed to generate quite a lot of interest from that. Making something making something bad, spinning it as a positive. And I think that they took that method and we're like, okay, so let's think of the worst thing we can think of, and thought of 9/11.
It's not just that though, Josh. I see this problem all the time, and I've experienced it as well, as a marketing company, as a social media company. The perennial box of gimmicks that people reach into, because a lot of people, either with their brand or product, sometimes feel on its own it's not strong enough, or on its own it's not interesting enough, which is, that's not always the case. It's just you've got to look at it from the right angle. So instead, they reach into their little box of gimmicks. That's a Bruce Pritchard reference from Something to Wrestle, another podcast I enjoy. And they go into the box of gimmicks.
Cheers for promoting that.
Yeah, much bigger than our show. Much bigger than our show. And they reach into the box of gimmicks and they pull out something random, like, I don't know, let's just, hypothesize, like, dragons. Yeah, we're going to market this phone using only dragons, or using dogs dressed as dragons. Something ridiculous. Box of gimmicks. And that's exactly what Miracle Mattress did. The first thing, not really that gimmicky, like, hey, you buy a mattress, we'll pay for a poorer family to have a mattress as well. Really, really nice. Not too gimmicky. But then things start spiraling out, because I believe, Josh, they had in between the 9/11 sale and the mattress for families, there was another campaign in the middle of that, wasn't there?
I think it kind of rested along the same laurels.
Right.
I know that they had one which was, I think it was keep children off the floor. which was kind of an addition to that. But what they did was they had a handful of what are they called, like jelly beans, but you know the ones that are shaped like people.
Oh yeah, jelly babies.
Jelly babies.
Yeah.
So they had a handful of jelly babies that represented the kids, and what you had to do was throw the jelly babies up in the air, and you had to catch them all in your mouth, which is near impossible.
What the hell? This is not where I thought that was going.
Yeah, well, I watched the commercial. I was like, is that a good idea? Because more than likely, you know, you've all seen that trick, haven't you, where you do that, and it's hard enough to catch one. Yeah. So,
I don't think I've ever caught anything that I've tried to do that with.
Yeah, so as a representation, more than likely, most of the jelly babies will be on the floor.
Which is the antithesis of what the campaign supposedly stood for.
Exactly my point. And this is why some things need approval, some things don't. I mean, that one I don't think garnered really that much interest. But, you know, at the same time, still, just from a purely aesthetical approach, not the best campaign. And
this was from Cherise, correct? Or...
Cherise wasn't in this video. Right. It was done by another member of staff.
Right. But either way, it's Mike has given the process over to someone else.
Yes. So Mike Bonnano is the head of Miracle Mattress, and he set up his store first in Houston, and then he wanted to expand and went over to San Antonio and thought, I can't run two things at the same time, and speculated again. So he was like, Cherise, you've always wanted to be the head of a mattress company. So, I want you to head this up. And I think another reason that she is really the face of it is that, you know, Mike, if you see him, he's I mean, at the time, at least 50, 60 years old. Cherise maybe being 30s, something like that. Much more experienced with social media. She's probably said, you know, I know what I'm doing here. Dad, you've not got a Facebook page or anything like that. So let me handle this. Well, it won't get you in any trouble.
Won't get you. Trust me.
Yeah. So she's kind of took over from there. And so we'll get to the meat of it now, which is the 9/11 Twin Towers sale, which is as tasteless as it sounds. It gets worse.
Yeah.
So September 11th, 2016. So this is 5 years after.
A bit more than 5 years. 2001.
15 years
after.
You know, the historic 9/11 events. And they decide to have a Twin Towers sale, which means that you can buy any mattress from their shop for the price of a twin. So you want a king-size bed, price of a twin. Queen-size bed, price of a twin. And what this advert depicted was Cherise saying the offers, 2 stacks of mattresses and 2 staff in front either side of her. And she goes, this is the Twin Towers sale. You can get all this for a twin size price. And then at the very end, she goes, these prices are crazy. Throws her hands in the air and knocks over these 2 members of staff that proceed to then fall into the Twin Towers of mattresses.
Yeah.
And then if that wasn't, you know, you could maybe say, oh, they weren't representing that. But then she ends it all by saying, we'll never forget.
Yeah.
Which is the... I hate to say it, the slogan of 9/11, I guess. So, you know, pretty much implicating herself, this is definitely...
I mean, it was implicated in the term that it was already called the Twin Tower sale. But, you know, as you say, you may potentially forgive the name if what the campaign is does it justice.
Yeah.
Once we found out the substance. Okay, twin price. Maybe if they didn't use the imagery of the towers, again, maybe they would have got away with it. But those 2 things in particular, Josh... knocking over the towers of mattresses for starters, and then ending the video with, like you mentioned, obviously slogan is not the right term, but you know, the memorial term of 9/11, which is, you know, never forget. And obviously finishing that video, looking back at it, going, that's great. let's publish this online to our followers.
Yeah, it's it did get pretty out of hand pretty quick, because I believe the first post was, we're having a Twin Towers sale, and then followed by another post saying, any mattress, twin price. And then shortly after that was, we apologise for putting out this advert. We have taken it down. And so what preceded that was a barrage of comments from the public saying this is absolutely tasteless. And we're disgusted in you, and you should close your doors forever. But what I'd like to do now...
Don't piss off the internet.
No, don't.
Rule number 1.
Yes. But what I would like to do now is actually play a little game with you. Okay, so what I think we should do is read through some of the comments that Cherise received from Miracle Mattress, and you just tell me, judging on the circumstances, did they go too far?
Okay, this doesn't sound good, but for the sake of this podcast, I will do the best.
Well, we can cut out anything that's too extreme.
Okay. That worries me. But
to be fair, I've not actually read these. So
you've not read them. That's a good start.
Yeah. So I just know that it's quite a lot of hate.
Okay. Well,
so
I'm ready.
First one, and I won't mention who it's from, but these are all from Facebook. And the reason, I mean, they had thousands, but they actually reset their Facebook because of how bad it was getting. So finding access to these was actually, well, not too hard, but it wasn't as plentiful as it was originally.
Yeah.
Okay, so still amazed that awful commercial ever found its way to TV. Maybe you were too young to fully appreciate how horrendous this was. Educate yourselves.
I think that's very fair comment.
Yeah, very
fair. Very fair. Very to the point and respectful, I would actually argue.
Mm-hmm. Well, this one. What sort of idiot makes fun of the people who died in the Twin Tower 9/11 attack? Are these people insensitive jerks, or are they ignorant of what happened that day? Are they going to be disciplined? This is not a rant. I would like an answer.
It is a rant, but equally a fair rant as well. And again, I think that's completely fair to say. The criticism placed upon Miracle Mattress by the public, it's not false outrage. It's real outrage that is genuinely deserved. You categorically cannot touch it. You cannot touch 9/11 in that way.
No.
And we'll go on later in the show. I've got some examples of brands that have used 9/11 in a very respectful way to get their messages out, and also some other brands that, similar to Miracle Mattress, have not done it very tastefully. But it's a very thin line, Josh. Very, very thin line.
Yeah. I think I'm going to go on.
Oh, okay.
So, congratulations on uniting an often divided nation for the sole purpose of making sure that your company goes out of business. Quite smart, that one.
Very smart.
Yeah.
Harsh, but deserved, again.
I can't believe the face of the commercial. The one who led the way in that commercial, and that god-awful never forget. The one that has forever irreconcilably tainted the brand and name of Miracle Mattress shows up on your first post since your heartfelt and sincere apology. You have learned nothing. Nothing! Shameless. Disgusting. These are all quite polite, aren't they?
These are very... Well, polite's probably not the right word, but I would say is done tastefully. Like, they're not calling her...
What?
We've seen some comments on the Miracle Mattress
See,
Instagram.
the thing is, we've actually seen harsher comments after the fact.
Yeah.
So 5 years later... See, the thing that's happened with this is that every single year, ironic as this is, there is the memoriam for 9/11. But every single year, their Facebook gets hammered by people leaving horrible comments saying, we'll never forget.
Facebook,
what
Instagram,
they did.
YouTube channel every year on the anniversary of 9/11 and of the advert.
And the more recent ones that we found are very hateful.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not so much talking even about the campaign anymore, just about the build of Cherise, which is quite unfortunate.
Yeah.
Not the build, I mean that they're doing that. But I didn't think it was completely fair to bring up present comments.
Yeah.
So I thought I'd dig into the past, but it's a shame that we can't find a really hateful comment.
Yeah, I'm surprised you weren't able to find any.
I know.
I'm sure there were an abundance, and actually,
there is now. So imagine what it was like then.
Exactly. So in the moment, on their original Facebook page before they deleted it, it would have been a minefield of just slurs and hatred towards Cherise and towards the company. And they kind of got off lightly by deleting their Facebook page, I would say, Well,
not really, because CNN picked it up and were like, well, can you believe what this mattress company did? They played the video, and even news presenters were like, absolutely disgusting.
Yeah.
I cannot believe it.
Well, that's the thing. It was that bad that it made national news, in America.
Yeah, I mean, this is something that's filmed on someone's iPhone. Making the news, and lots of people have covered it. The Young Turks, it's on. People were talking about it from Opie and Anthony, Howard Stern, stuff like that. Various radio shows in all over America. It picked up a lot of steam, so Cherise had to go public and apologize, as well as her father, who was like, this doesn't represent the company, and Cherise was pretty much like, that was a really stupid thing to do. We meant well. We didn't handle it in the best way, which I think is a bit of an understatement, really.
Yeah, they definitely didn't. The whole process is just baffling. But again, it comes back to what we said at the start of the show with the DIY marketing. If Mike Bonnano literally said, "Hey, Cherise, here's a store. Go do whatever you want." Obviously, that can lead to problems, like what we saw with the commercial. But she definitely needed to come out and make a statement, and Mike Bonnano needed to make a statement as well as the owner of the true Miracle Mattress.
So this led to, obviously, people like, you need to close your doors, and out of respect they did close.
Very respectful. Yeah.
For the weekend.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, so after the weekend, they thought, right, we've done enough now. So reopened again.
But what you didn't mention there, Josh, is actually they didn't just actually say, yeah, we're gonna close for the weekend. They actually did use the term, we will close indefinitely.
Yes.
And like you said, didn't last that long.
Yeah.
Because people need mattresses,
Yeah,
the world needs mattresses. Children need mattresses.
Yeah. And it's just made me think that people really do need mattresses, because reading all the comments, like if you look at their Facebook even today, it's still flooded by these comments. But every now and again you see great store, really great people, I really love work, and it's like people are willing to forget what happened and just get on with the day. Whether that's a good or bad thing, I don't know, because obviously it's very upsetting what they did. But when do you forgive?
That's the thing, isn't it, Josh? I think a lot of these people that go to the store now probably don't actually realize what happened all those years ago.
I reckon there's people going to the store because it's that store.
Yeah, it's possible. It's possible. But I mean, 2001 is a long time, 20 years, to this point now. If you can't shake that in 20 years, you're never going to shake it. And the fact that they're still in operation, albeit under a new name, Miracle Mattress 2, it says a lot about the American public. Have they forgiven? Probably not. Have they moved on? More likely, yes.
Now, I don't know what I was going to say next.
Okay.
I guess the question is, how do you handle something as sensitive as 9/11? Do you just not touch it?
Yeah.
Or, are there some examples of people actually being able to tackle it and give it the respect it deserves and not make fun of it? Or, seem like they're just gaining capital from it?
Yeah, it's a good question. And, I did some research for the show that looked at not only more terrible examples of how not to use 9/11 as marketing, but actually, like you said, there are some good examples, which I will get onto, of how to use it tastefully and respectfully within a campaign. So I've kind of broke it down into 3 categories, which are the good, the bad, and the ugly. We'll just start with the bad. I think that's always a good place to start.
Definitely.
Because, we're already starting from the ugly with Miracle Mattress. So in 2013, Tumble Down Trails Golf Course bought an ad in the Wisconsin State Journal offering a deal for the 12th anniversary of 9/11. And to commemorate this, they were offering 9 holes with cart for only $9.11 per person, or 18 holes with cart for $19.11. Yeah, pretty bad. Again, using 9/11 as a price, like using 9/11 as a price tag to get people to come down to the golf course on 9/11.
You know what's weird about that is that, it's clear they could have gone cheaper.
Yeah.
But in it could have been $8.99.
Yeah.
But they chose to just represent 9/11 with a price, which I think is just really tasteless.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got another example actually as well of the price. 2012, the Coeur d'Alene Casino Resort Hotel in Wardley, Idaho, offered hotel rooms for $91.11. Again, that 9/11 price tag. And if you got that hotel room, they don't even know how to say it. They gave you a food voucher. And guess how much the food voucher was worth, Josh?
Was it $9.11?
It was $9.11. Yes. Go and spend $9.11. Who's ever bought a meal for $9.11?
I thought that these were the only ones that were trying to capitalize on this, but it's almost sickening that people are just like, well, almost 3,000 deaths in that building.
$9.11. Are they stupid, or are they just oblivious to the impact of 9/11?
Because
we're still living with the ramifications of 9/11, and there are people like, hey, here's $9.11 for a food voucher.
But this is what I mean. There's 2 options, I guess, maybe more. But you can be unaware of how that comes across to the public. Can understand that. Or you can be totally aware and want the ramifications that give you infamy, which is what Miracle Mattress got. I believe genuinely that they were just too stupid and didn't realise.
They just didn't think it through.
But
that's not an excuse either, really.
Yeah, but it's like there must be some people going, this will kick up a fuss online, which I think is worse than being ignorant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd hope that there was one person there. Clearly there wasn't. Well, there might have been. They just ignored, but just went, we shouldn't do this. And
it probably wasn't Mike Bonnano. I believe Mike Bonnano. Mike Bonnano said he had no knowledge of this until it actually went out.
Yeah. Which is, again, comes back to that DIY marketing. Cherise just took everything into her own hands, didn't really consult with anyone else. And that's what happened. But I've got a few more examples. So that was the bad. I've got ugly now. Now, ugly, the reason these are defined as ugly is because these aren't just your small mattress companies or your little golf courses in the middle of nowhere. No. AT&T, really big network provider in the United States of America. Everybody knows AT&T. They tweeted in 2013 an image of the New York skyscape.
Depends what you're trying to say.
The skyscape. Is that a word, or have I made that up?
Are you trying to say skyscraper?
No, skyscape. It doesn't sound like a word to me.
I think that's something you've made up. The skyscape. Skyline?
Skyline.
Yeah.
Skyscape isn't a word, is it?
No. You're thinking of RuneScape or Escape.
I don't know what I was thinking of.
I think it's one of those.
Yeah, RuneScape, which is actually run, escape.
Yeah, it is, yeah. Double entendre.
Anyway, back to this. AT&T in 2013, they tweeted an image of the New York skyline, and the person is holding a phone. And by looking through the phone, it shows the beams of light representing the Twin Towers. So again, this is a two-folded message. Obviously, never forget is what the caption is they use. Never forget 9/11. But also, forget anything. Never forget anything when you have AT&T equipped smartphone. So
again, wanting to use the slogan. Because I guess, you know what? I would argue vaguely okay.
Yeah.
I
guess it's the fact that they're trying to sell phones off the back of...
Yeah.
You know, because they could have just had a picture of the skyline with the two beams without a phone.
Oh, wait, so how is the phone used in it?
So it's basically, it's the skyline, and then the phone is in the middle of the skyline, and looking through the phone, you see the beams of light representing in the distance. So it's almost like, hey, I took this photo with my AT&T smartphone, which is kind of...
yeah. I mean, look.
Obviously, they didn't really... It's not necessarily an offensive word, but it's kind of like profiteering off 9/11 a little bit.
Yeah.
Which is ugly, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But I've got one worse. And this one, when I was looking at this upstairs, I was talking to the guys about this as well. They were all pretty baffled. So in 2013, Marriott hotels, they got involved in 9/11 memorial by offering at the Dog Groomers of Pennsylvania and Ohio's annual conference, which was obviously held at Marriott Hotel. They were offering complimentary coffee and mini muffins only between the hours of 8:45 and 9:15 a.m., which is obviously a very historic time of when the incident of 9/11 took place.
You know what? That's quite smart.
Is it?
Well, it's like...
Mini muffins.
Yes. Look,
here's some mini muffins to, and I quote, in remembrance of those we lost on 9/11.
Yeah, that's... To me, that's them giving homage. At least they're not going, you can get a discount on 9 mini muffins and 11 coffees. Yeah. Like, that's very, very on the note. At least they've gone, look, between 8:45 and 11:15 a.m., there was absolute terror. And during those hours, we would like to make you feel a bit better with a muffin. It's not their fault they've got a muffin, so, that's what they have to promote. But, I can see that they could potentially spin that and be genuine and be like, yeah, we're doing this to help and we're showing our respects. It's so much less on the nose than being, $9.11 for a golf cart.
Okay, it's less in your face, but equally it's kind of like, hey guys, let's remember the awful atrocity of 9/11 by drinking complimentary coffee and eating mini muffins.
Yeah. But this one, maybe I'm being a bit jaded because, we're working backwards from Miracle Mattress. Yeah. So maybe I'm being a bit soft.
Yeah, in comparison to Miracle Mattress, obviously it's not that bad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but I think... I don't know. That's
you're more okay with it than the $9.11.
Definitely.
Examples.
Definitely.
That's definitely tasteless. Definitely tasteless.
Yes.
Yeah. Finding it's almost a random amount, isn't it? Because obviously the numbers are representative of 9/11, but when have you ever bought anything that costs $9.11?
No.
So it's kind of like, yeah, here's a food voucher for $9.11. The food is more than likely going to cost $15, $16.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a subsidy, I guess is the term. But I have got good examples, Josh. I know we said earlier in the show, it's a very thin line using 9/11 in any kind of promotional or commercial. But there are actually 2 organizations in particular, one very recently, actually this year, that have been applauded for how they've done that. First of all, in 2011, Spike Lee, the amazing director Spike Lee.
The director, Spike Lee.
Spike Lee, the director. Apologies, Josh. Not a fan?
Not really.
No. Okay. Okay. I guess that's for another time. But Spike Lee, the director, very well known, obviously. He directed a touching commercial for State Farm commemorating the anniversary of 9/11, and I just watched it upstairs, and it is actually a beautiful commercial. It features school children walking through the streets of New York with Empire State of Mind playing in, and they walk to the New York State Fire Department, one of the fire departments in the New York area, and they start singing the song to the fire department, and afterwards they go and hug them, and it's actually a really, really touching video.
See, that actually sounds really good. And just for clarification, I don't hate Spike Lee. I hate what he did to Old Boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You hold a vendetta for that?
Yeah, I just think it was a terrible, terrible, terrible remake that didn't need to happen. But anyway, that's a different story. Yeah, that sounds very touching.
But it's a nice commercial, isn't it? Like the idea is, Spike Lee has put together there. It's very wholesome, and it doesn't say at the end of the video like, hey, and go and buy these bread muffins at State Farm for like $9.11.
And one thing as well, because Spike Lee, obviously being who he is, has a reputation. And one thing you can say about him is, he puts his beliefs on screen. So there's a kind of a genuineness to pretty much anything he produces.
Yeah.
So I think that definitely adds to it as well. So yeah, they're all like really good examples, I think, of how to do it, how not to do it. But if we get back to Cherise from Miracle Mattress, I think after apologising, she was crying a lot on TV and stuff, justifiably, and then just went back to previous, decided, okay, so the charity angle didn't work. Well, it did at first, and then, maybe we took it too far. So their next campaign was to hold a competition. Another DIY thing.
Great to hear they learned from their mistakes. Yeah.
Yeah, well, to be fair, this wasn't so tasteless. It does actually sound like a good competition. It sounds ridiculous, actually.
But it's the box of gimmicks again, isn't it?
Yeah, it was pretty much what to be fair, what do you do after the whole country hates you?
Yeah.
Like, tell you what, just quick question. What would you do? Everyone hates your brand. Doesn't want to work with you. You have the choice of giving up or...
Yeah, I mean, I would just rebrand the entire company. Which sounds easier said than done. But why would you continue to use the Miracle Mattress name?
But
it's not like you're not Coca-Cola. You're not Budweiser. You're Miracle Mattress. You've got 2 shops in one state. Why not?
See, I think that could potentially end up worse. Because you rebrand and they go, aren't you Andreas Giorgio? And
aren't you Miracle Mattress? No, we're Miracle Mattress 2.
Yeah. Yeah, so I guess they did rebrand, but didn't really understand what rebranding was. So
they was like, isn't that how? No, you're just referring to sequels. Like, what are you talking about?
This is the comeback of Miracle Mattress. So anyway, Cherise got back into doing a competition, and the competition was, you come into the store, you buy the mattress, enter into a prize draw, and the winner of that prize draw will not only get a mattress, but will get their whole house furnished.
Wow.
That's
giving a lot away, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. So, again, they got onto local TV and stuff with these kind of things. So they pretty much went back to their old ways. But what's happened is they have forever, it seems, been tarnished with, just that drastic oversight. So I guess now it's time to actually rate this on the leaderboard.
Yeah.
So we had Walker's Wave, which got a 1. We had Total Matrix, which got a 3. Let's go to you first. What do you think Miracle Mattress should get? What
does Miracle Mattress deserve? Well, they deserve to be out of business, but they're not. Miracle Mattress 2 is alive and kicking in San Antonio. And unfortunately, I'm sounding so aggressive, but yeah, they are still around. Their business hasn't been destroyed. They got a lot of bad press from it. They were in some of the biggest newspapers and news sites in the world, on some of the biggest TV channels in the world, CNN, for example, as well. But they're still here, and they're still selling mattresses, which is a miracle in itself. So I would have to say, Josh, it's probably close to the 1 and 3. I want to say 4, only because no matter what, even though they still exist, every year around 9/11, the world will not let the rest of the consumers ever forget what these people did on September the 11th, 2016.
I don't know how you gave that 4. Because I was thinking... I mean, at first I was thinking...
I think more damage came from this. I mean, I guess Toyota Matrix, Toyota got sued because of the Saatchi and Saatchi campaign. You know, lost money. They had to settle outside of court. Miracle Mattress probably, obviously lost a lot of money at the time, but they are still in operation. Does that classify higher than a 3? Maybe 4 is me being, maybe 4 is me being way too harsh.
No. I think the opposite. I was going to give it like a 7.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
A 7?
Yeah. Well, I was thinking at first a 7, and then I was like, maybe I'll settle on a 6. Because it was like, these guys, obviously we don't know the financial situation, but it's like, this could have so easily been... I mean, they literally got to a point of, we will close our doors indefinitely. They lied, and... I don't know how well they're doing, but because of this, they will forever have a cap on how much they can achieve.
Yeah, they will never be a mainstream mattress company.
Yes, exactly. So, I mean, it's quite forgiving that they have managed to carry on. So,
I think a 7's way too high.
I also think a 7. Maybe I'm overreaching there. I think it's got to be a 6.
Sell me on 6. Sell me on it.
Well, if halfway, like what do you have to do to get above a 5?
Yeah.
It's like, look, these were all over the news. People hated them. People still hate them.
She gets abused quite a lot online.
And the people that are buying the mattresses, like, maybe there are a few people going there for the great customer service, but you know, it's almost a tourist destination in how much it's got grief.
And they have that footprint. You know, like I said, they can delete a Facebook page, but the news articles are still there. The Google reviews are still there. Mm-hmm. So no matter what they do, people will always know what they did. And I think that in itself is a burden that they have to forever live with. Like you're saying, they will never be, you know, come on, nobody starts a business and says, my dream is to have one of these shops in one state. You know, you're like, no, I want us to be a global mattress chain. I want us to be international. And unfortunately, that will never, ever happen because of what happened. So, you know, I will say this. It has probably had more of a long-term effect than both Walker's Wave and the Toyota Matrix campaign. So for that, it's definitely higher than both of those. And I think for the fact of what they have to live with, meaning every single year, they have to face criticism and horrible comments, it does deserve to be higher than a 5. I'm willing to accept a 6.
Cool. I agree with that. I think a 6 is spot on. So there it is, number 6 on the leaderboard, Miracle Mattress. We got our first one above a 5, which is great. And look, what is that? We're just above a 5. And someone was making fun of 9/11. How bad are these 9s and 10s going to be?
Yeah, they're going to be pretty bad.
Yeah.
They're going to be pretty bad. And the only way to find out how bad they are is by subscribing to the amazing How to Destroy Your Brand podcast on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, and also here on the Infinity Studios YouTube channel to make sure you never, ever miss a podcast or the documentary. See you in 2 weeks.